What I think is cool about her arc is she goes from assassin to hero to healer. The red in the ledger, the idea that you want to cleanse yourself from the things that you've done wrong and just get rid of it, like almost like it never happened. It's not her fault she was taken off the streets as a child. It's not her fault she was brainwashed, tortured, and used and manipulated to be an assassin. But she hasn't known any other life. The greatest healing for Natasha was the atonement that happened in her own heart, in her own self. Honestly, the best way we get red out of our ledger is to live our lives for others.
And she spent years doing as much good as she possibly could and capped it by doing the most good of any of the Avengers. She wasn't at peace because she was going to die.
Yeah.
She was at peace, and so it was okay to die.
Sorry, buddy. I don't know why I did that to you.
You know why you did it to me.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies.
I am Alan Seawright, professional filmmaker, and I need therapy.
Today we're going to do an episode in our Psychology of a Hero series. We're going to explore Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow.
The Black Widow.
Yeah, now that her arc is concluded and her lawsuit with Disney settled, we can go ahead and plow through this. There's a lot of controversy. I think everyone loves ScarJo and her portrayal of the character.
Yep.
There's a lot of controversy about how she's been written.
Particularly in the second Avengers film, I think.
Yes. So we're going to touch on that. But the theme of today's Psychology of a Hero episode is atonement, which is repairing a wrong or an injury. And all of us have either been wronged or we've done things that we regret, that have damaged relationships, that have burned bridges, closed doors, caused us to miss opportunities. And I want to talk about the process of making things right as far as we can.
I don't know how that relates to Black Widow.
When we're introduced to her, she's kind of a male gaze.
She's sort of eye candy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Tony Stark literally says this line.
I want one.
No.
Understandable, but gross.
I think you could describe a lot of early Tony Stark
Early
as
Tony
understandable.
Stark is understandable, but gross.
You're welcome.
She goes from that to, ass-kicking spy. But here, this is the first scene where we actually get to see the person.
Before I worked for S.H.I.E.L.D., I made a name for myself. I have a very specific skill set. I didn't care who I used it for. Or on. I got on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s radar in a bad way. Agent Barton was sent to kill me. He made a different call.
And what will you do if I vow to spare him?
Not let you out.
Oh, no, but I like this. Your world in the balance, and you bargained for one man.
Regimes fall every day. I tend not to weep over that. I'm Russian. Or I was.
And what are you now?
It's really not that complicated. I got red in my ledger. I'd like to wipe it out.
It's a great way to describe
Yeah.
mistakes.
Can you wipe out that much red?
It's a question that stings a lot of us.
Dreykov's daughter? Sao Paulo?
I love how they pay a lot of this off.
The hospital fire?
Paid off in the Black Widow.
Barton told me everything. Your ledger is dripping. It's gushing red, and you think saving a man no more virtuous than yourself will change anything? This is the basest sentimentality. This is a child at prayer. Pathetic! You lie and kill in the service of liars and killers. You pretend to be separate, to have your own code, something that makes up for the horrors. But they are part of you, and they will never go away.
I just love this montage while he's describing things.
Kill you, slowly, intimately, in every way he knows you fear. And then he'll wake just long enough to see his good work, and when he screams, I'll split his skull. This is my bargain, you mewling quim.
You're a monster.
brought the monster.
So, Banner. That's your play.
What?
Loki needs to unleash the Hulk. Keep Banner in the lab. I'm on my way. Send Thor as well. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh man.
So good.
And that is the exact moment in the MCU where she goes from
Why is she an
male
Avenger?
gaze eye candy to holy crap.
It's where
There's
she
a
goes.
lot of meat on this character.
To me, it's where she goes from why the heck is this normal ass woman an Avenger to oh, that's her superpower.
She can get inside of anybody's head,
Get inside of anybody's head and do it quickly.
including the God of Mischief, who's the
Right.
ultimate manipulator. I love rewatching that scene, and she opens up to him because she's playing him.
Yep.
And he uses all the things she's afraid of, all her trigger points, all the things that she could be ashamed of. And she's like, yeah, what, this is.
Yeah, well, and she plays it like, oh, you're definitely getting to me. And then as soon as he gives it away, she's like, oh, thank you. She's like, it was all an act.
I'm in the middle of an interrogation. This moron is giving me everything.
I don't give everything.
But we do learn truths about her from this scene, about her past and about her relationship with Clint Barton. And I love that it's not a romantic relationship.
Yeah, no.
It's very brother-sister.
Just like Budapest all over again.
You and I remember Budapest very differently.
So when we're talking about her quest to make things right, this is referenced throughout the films. They talk about it a lot in the Black Widow solo film, The Red and the Ledger. The idea that you want to cleanse yourself from the things that you've done wrong and just get rid of it, like almost like it never happened. And sometimes you can't do that, but what's the process of atonement? The first step is to recognize that you've done wrong.
Sure.
Right? Barton brings that to her attention. Now, I think she's always known it,
Yeah.
but she hasn't known any other life. And Barton could have killed her. And when she says Barton made another play, I honestly think my headcanon is Barton says, because she says this later, is that Barton says to her, hey, you've done a lot of bad in the world. Would you like to do some good?
Come do some good.
And that he literally spares her life, and that's all it takes for her to say, yeah, I would like to do some good.
That sounds better than doing bad.
But it's a testament to who she really is that she jumps at the opportunity, like she was just waiting for an outlet for that, you know? So the first is to recognize that you've done wrong. The second step is to apologize to those that you've hurt and to make amends as far as you can. We don't have any footage of Natasha apologizing to anybody. I would love to have seen like a moment like in The Born Supremacy when he finds the little girl
Yeah.
whose parents he killed. And, just that whole bit of accountability would be great. But in real life, we apologize. And the point is not for them to forgive you. The point is not for them to ease your guilty conscience.
Right.
The point is you are getting the red out of your ledger as best you can. You are growing, you are changing, you are taking accountability. And if they want to mend the bridges with you,
Great.
awesome. Doesn't always happen.
You can't just steal a guy's car. So you want me to chase him down and unsteal it?
The third step is to learn how to be different and to make changes. So what are some steps that she does to learn to be different and make changes?
The first thing she does is try to take down Dreykov, the guy who created her and all the widows.
Yeah.
She's trying to prevent him from doing to other people what had been done to her.
Yeah.
That's her first, big
Stop
act.
that cycle.
Right.
We see a lot with Barton. Early on, he's redeeming her. He's helping to redeem her, calling her to a better path, calling her back to the light. When you consider that, it makes that moment in Endgame that much more powerful.
So much more powerful. Yeah.
Because she's doing the same to him now. Because he's gone down this dark, terrible path. So she dedicates her life to S.H.I.E.L.D., to being an Avenger, to doing good, to helping people. She still kills people, but it's for the cause of protecting the innocent.
They were all bad.
They were all bad, right?
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yeah, but they were all bad.
Fourth step in making atonement for the wrongs that you've committed is to not repeat the behavior. Don't work for bad guys and don't kill innocent people. So
Oh,
she thinks
okay.
that's what she's doing with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Whoopsie.
Ruh-roh. Whoopsie. So when she finds out that S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually Hydra, of course, she's pissed and she works with Cap to bring it down. And she's fighting with the Avengers. But all of this brings back a ton of guilt and shame for her because all along she was working for the bad guys. Still.
Again.
She was being used and manipulated. Again. So when we find her in Age of Ultron, she's feeling pretty down on herself and feels like she can never escape just being a killer, an assassin.
Yeah.
And we get to this scene.
I had this, dream. The kind that seems normal at the time. But when you wake,
What did you dream?
that I was an Avenger. That I was anything more than the assassin they made me.
I think you're being hard on yourself.
Such a beautiful line of dialogue.
Here I was hoping that was your job.
Whoa.
Less beautiful, but very funny line of dialogue.
I'm running with with you. If running's the plan, as far as you want.
How do you mind?
Ouch, Banner.
I want you to understand that
Natasha, where can I go? Where in the world am I not a threat?
you're not a threat to me.
You sure? Even if I didn't just... There's no future with me. I can't have this. Kids. Do the math, I physically can't.
Neither can I.
So this is super controversial. We'll talk about this.
In the Red Room, where I was trained, where I was raised, they have a graduation ceremony. They sterilize you. It's efficient. One less thing to worry about. The one thing that might matter more than a mission. Makes everything easier. Even killing. You still think you're the only monster on the team?
Why do people take issue with that scene if it's not already obvious?
Because the timing of that line is terrible.
It is terrible.
Still think you're the only monster? I don't have a uterus. I must also be a monster.
Nope.
I honestly, watching it this time, I wonder if there was some additional dialogue there that was cut out to just tighten up the scene a little bit.
Let's acknowledge how hurtful that juxtaposition is to a lot of women, and
Oh, yeah.
understandably so. I can't have children. They sterilize me. Do you still think you're the only monster on this team? It sounds an awful lot like if a woman's role is to have children, and if she can't, she's a monster.
Or at least that's what Natasha thinks or whatever.
So I can understand why that's exceptionally hurtful.
If that's your read on the scene, which is kind of the logical read because that's how the words is, that's bad. My read on the scene is she's saying, not that I'm a monster because I was sterilized, I'm a monster because they made me a killing machine, and part of making me a killing machine was sterilizing me, but the monster part is that I kill people, and I'm really good at it.
And so Banner's saying, we can't be together. I can't have children. I can't give you that future. And I'm just a monster that destroys things. And her point is, we are perfect for each other.
I also can't have children. I'm a monster who destroys things.
Yeah.
If you're hurt by that scene, you're not wrong.
Thank you!
The fifth step is to forgive yourself, which is something Nat struggles to do. I mean, once again, it's not her fault she was taken off the streets as a child. It's not her fault she was brainwashed, tortured, and used and manipulated to be an assassin. And so she needs to forgive herself for this thing. She needs to forgive herself. S.H.I.E.L.D. being Hydra wasn't her fault.
Nope.
And yet when
She thought she was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Even when she wasn't, she still thought she was.
When we try to do good and we end up causing harm, it is a really hard thing. I've had times in therapy where I thought I was doing good and it did harm, and people have either said, hey, we're going to find a different therapist, or I've had to do a lot of work to undo unintentional damage that I did.
Sure.
And that is really hard on me.
I can't imagine much that's worse.
I'm trying to do good and make things better, and I just completely effed it up. And then I get into this headspace of, I had a dream, and the dream was that I was a good therapist who helped people. Turns out I'm a monster.
That's rough, buddy.
So forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now before you knew it.
That was one hell of a sentence.
Right?
Where and then it happened?
Also, here's the thing about forgiving yourself. If it's a behavior we chose and it's something we can change, guilt serves a short-term purpose. It's like nitrous in the Fast and the Furious. You don't run a car on nitrous,
Nope.
but you flip the switch, you hit the button, and it's a burst of speed forward towards where you need to be. Guilt can be healthy if it's directed at a behavior that we chose and can change because it motivates us to change it.
Right.
But then it needs to be released because it doesn't serve a purpose anymore. And if it's directed at something we didn't choose or didn't change, it literally just stays inside and eats us alive. And that's what's happening with Nat right now. So, of course, we get to Civil War, and innocent people die again while they're trying to do good. And at this point, she says, okay, I want to be accountable to the world, so I'm going to side with Tony. And then, of course, she realizes Ross is just another big government figure who's going to manipulate her. And she's like, and now I'm with Cap.
Yep.
And she's not a flip-flopper. The thing is, Nat always follows her conscience.
Yeah, and her conscience is leading her in the same direction all the time. She's just gathering new pieces of information.
Right. And then that leads us to the Black Widow film. So Nat's on the run for aiding Captain America, and circumstances lead her back to Dreykov, the Red Room, and her adopted family.
And her sister gives her this really insightful, well, it's just a cutting remark. Gets right to the heart of her issues.
I was trying to actually do something good to make up for all the pain and suffering that we caused. Trying to be more than just a trained killer.
Well, then you were fooling yourself. Because pain and suffering is every day, and we are both still a trained killer. Except I'm not the one that's on the cover of a magazine. I'm not the killer that little girls call their hero.
Which is absolutely Natasha's worst fear.
It's Natasha's worst fear, and in the way only sisters can. She just digs right in and nails it.
So I've only seen Florence Pugh in this and in Little Women, and I will literally watch anything she does.
She is so great, guys. So good.
And I really did want to hurt you.
Anything she's on it, I'm going to watch it because she's so great in both these roles.
Go to lisaspopcorn.com/cinematherapy. Get yourself a subscription box of popcorn. Using our code, you get free shipping.
And 6 flavors a month delivered to your door for your movie nights.
That is a lot of flavors.
Yeah.
None of the flavors, unfortunately, are Alan's tears. We're working on it. They're salty.
We've talked in a previous episode, Prince of Egypt, that you can watch right here, that in many cases, hate comes from love.
Sure.
She loved her adopted parents. She loved her sister. When that all dissolved, she tries to say that it didn't matter. And in order to numb the pain, she's saying, I never loved you. And we get this wonderful dinner scene.
You are an idiot.
All of these actors are great, but as per usual, David Harbour just walks away with this movie.
And you're a coward. You're a coward. And our family was never real, so there's nothing to hold on to. We're moving on.
Never family. In my heart, I am simple man. And I think that for a couple deep undercover Russian agents, I think we did pretty great as parents. Huh?
Yes, we had our orders and we played our roles to perfection.
Who cares? That wasn't real.
What?
That wasn't real. Who cares?
Don't say that. Please don't say that. It was real. It was real to me. You are my mother. You were my real mother. The closest thing I ever had to one. The best part of my life was fake. And none of you told me.
Man, Florence Pugh is the truth. She is doing a
How's her Russian
objectively silly accent.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's actually, this is a pretty good Russian accent. She's doing fine. She's doing good work. But it's really hard to emote when you're doing an accent.
Yeah.
Because a lot of actors, this is not a trap that amateurs fall into. This is a trap that everyone falls into. You start playing the accent, and she's not in that scene.
Yeah.
She's playing the emotion through an accent, and it is seamless. Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Ugh, that was disgusting.
This episode is brought to you by you. We get to make this because we have a membership site, and if you sign up for it, you get to see stuff like all of this amazing stuff that I'm going to show you right now. It's stuff.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us for our relationship course, your first relationship course, Fight Less, Connect More, where we're talking about building healthy conflict resolution skills and communication skills. You might have a closer and a healer, and they would both say physical touch is one of their primary love languages.
If their personality is different.
Yeah, it
super
looks
different.
It looks totally different, and it's the same thing with words of affirmation and quality timing.
I'm Alan C. Wright, and I need therapy. And you're here for a live Q&A. And that's weird, but thanks for being here. The Matrix is green, which is slightly uncomfortable feeling. They obviously took their cue from the cascading computer code, right? It feels like that sort of sickly, too green that you get from a computer screen, not, a lush forest.
Here's your pre-workout. Here's what to look for as you watch. How does closed-mindedness hinder this family? How does learning open-mindedness help them to heal? I don't even know how she's so banged up because it looks like the bed got the worst of it. If anything, she should have left him alone with the bed. Those two were really having a moment there.
They definitely had more chemistry. The National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. It's a real Emmy. They're Emmys. That's what they are. Go to www.thecinematherapy.com and use promo code. There is no promo code. You're welcome. Just take the thing and love it, and you're welcome, and we love you, and that's it. You're welcome.
So this is where we get to atonement in your relationships with others who have wronged you. We went through Natasha's process of making things right with others, but here we have people who have wronged her. And her sister, not biological, but to her, I mean, this was the only family any of them ever really had.
Right.
Right? And Florence Pugh's character is the only one who's acknowledging that we had this dream for a few years where we lived a life together. And this hits hard if you think of people in foster care. You think of where they go, you know, they have a few years somewhere and then they move on. And it's really heartbreaking. But the girls were wronged. And Natasha has so much anger towards her adopted parents. And the atonement process in a family starts with taking ownership for your own stuff, going through those 5 steps that we talked about, and then being willing to forgive. Now, you can always forgive, even if people don't make amends. You can let go of bitterness, anger, and hatred. But I'm talking about the classical idea of forgiveness, which is repairing.
Right.
Because when her adopted parents team up with her and her sister to bring down the Red Room and to take ownership and accountability for all the terrible things they've done, Natasha sees in them herself. We've done terrible things. We're trying to make it right.
Yeah.
And she's willing to extend this.
Zvani. Moja malenkaya sestra.
Her Russian is actually not
Should
that.
come back for you.
You don't have to say that. It's okay.
It was real to me too.
Because ScarJo's so glamorous and beautiful, people sometimes discount how talented she is.
She's really good.
It's like Brad Pitt in the 90s before he really showed.
He's so pretty, he can't be an actor.
Yeah. Can I just say this movie was a delight? Like,
So much fun. I really enjoyed this movie.
I am clearly injured.
I'm clearly injured.
I just messed it up.
I love this. He's asking for forgiveness non-verbally because he knows he'll mess it up. You got something to say? I just mess it up. But it's all right here.
Yeah.
And she's accepting it.
Here comes the cavalry.
So, atonement, when people have wronged you, you can always let go of bitterness and anger and hatred and let justice or the universe take its course with them. Or, you know, if they get away with things and they're happy, I'm not saying you can't seek justice, but vengeance and hatred and bitterness literally hurts just you.
Yeah.
But especially when they try to make amends, sometimes we don't want to because, you know, what they've done is so terrible. Now, I'm not saying someone says they're sorry, so let them back in. Some people can play the part, but you should never trust them because they will return to hurt you again and again and again. You should always protect yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, great plan.
I love the part where I almost bled to death.
But I've had hurts in my family that have been healed through this atonement process of being willing to recognize, being willing to apologize, being willing to make changes and not return back to the behavior before, and then being willing to forgive both yourself and others. And this is what heals Natasha's family.
A cornucopia of love.
What I think is cool about her arc is she goes from assassin to hero to healer. That she really finds herself here healing this little family, and then all the compassion she has for all of the other widows, right? And saving them and their kindred spirits. They both suffered together, and now she's like, okay, I helped my family, I've helped the widows, and then she says this, which tells you exactly where she's at.
Where are you gonna go?
It's funny, my whole life I didn't think I had any family. Turns out I got 2. So, one of them's a bit of a mess right now. I'm gonna go break a few of them out of prison. See if I can't help patch things up.
Oh man, this speaks so strongly to me as a therapist that she goes from assassin to butt-kicking hero, but her true calling is healer.
Is healer, yeah.
And a lot of people downplay. I think she's a fantastic character. She's got a fantastic arc. So she's grown into a leader, both with the widows, with her adopted family. We see in Black Widow, she steps into the role of leader. So by the time we get to, if we're going chronological, Avengers Infinity War, and especially Avengers Endgame, she's not really taking orders anymore. She's leading teams and people look up to her. So we see her, the blip happens. I love that when we see 5 years later, She's leading everybody.
Yeah.
They report to her, including freaking Captain Marvel, who can punch through spaceships, reports to this human because leadership skills.
Because leadership skills and healing authority.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, we get to this wonderful exchange between her and Cap.
I used to have nothing. And then I got this. This job. This family. And I was better because of it. And even though they're gone, I'm still trying to be better.
I think we both need to get a life.
You first.
And there you go, $300 million movie with an unlimited visual effects budget, and the best visual effect is 2 close-ups on 2 actors. These small moments, the Marvel movies, everybody, you come out of a Marvel movie and you talk about the big set pieces, right? Or you talk about the cool way they use their powers this time,
Yeah.
which Marvel does better than anybody. That's great. But what makes the Marvel movies good is that.
Yeah.
The writing is solid. The characters have substance.
Yeah.
They're not just punchy, smashy all the time.
Which is why so many people who aren't comic book fans by nature, they don't go for the heroics. They go because they love the characters.
Yeah.
And I know I love how many male friendships she has. People are like, well, her relationship with Banner cheapened her to a romantic object. I'm like, not really, because it was one movie. And if you look at the course of the series, she's not a romantic object. Almost all of her male relationships are friends.
Yeah, the deepest relationship she has across the MCU is with Cap, and that's totally platonic.
What about the nurse that lives across the hall from you? She seems kind of nice.
Secure the engine room, then find me a date.
I'm multitasking.
Yeah, Cap and Barton.
And Barton, yeah.
Yeah, which brings us, you knew that we were going to go there because Alan hasn't cried hard enough today.
Here come the waterworks, everybody.
I guess we both know who it's got to be.
I guess we do.
So a bit of setup. His family got blipped and he turned into sort of a Ronin, just wandering around killing bad people.
You mean different people here, Natasha.
Hates himself for
The
it.
last 5 years I've been trying to do one thing, get to right here. That's all it's been about, bringing everybody back.
No, don't you get all decent on me now.
What, you think I want to do it? I'm trying to save your life, you idiot.
Yeah, well, I don't want you to. How's that? Natasha, you know what I've done. You know what I've become.
Oh, I don't judge people on their worst mistakes.
Maybe you should.
You didn't.
That is so beautiful.
You're a pain in my ass, you know that. Okay. You win. Tell my family I love them.
You tell them yourself.
As tragic as this is, I love the dynamic of kicking each other's asses to save each other.
Save each other's lives, yeah. It's such an MCU way to deal with things. And it's beautifully shot, and there's all this atmosphere. Absolutely seamless visual effects throughout. All to tell this story in this moment.
Damn you. Wait.
Let me go.
No. Please, no.
It's okay.
Please.
Sorry, buddy. I don't know why I did that to you.
I know why you did it to me.
This is Natasha's choice, number 1. Number 2, I see when she says, it's okay, let me go. For someone who did all the things that she did, and both bad and then all the good things that she did, it's a beautiful thing to get to a place in life where you're like, if I die, I can be happy with what my life was. I read her piece there as there's there's all these other things I wanted to do. It's, I'm freaking saving the world. That's how you get red out of your ledger.
That's how you get red out of your ledger. You save a couple billion people. How about that?
Now, I don't mean to imply if you've got red in your ledger, you need to do that. Or that any of us need to give our lives. I think that's a great dramatic send-off for her.
Absolutely.
But honestly, the best way we get red out of our ledger is to live our lives for others. It's to, like, the happiness and the joy of life is in the struggle to be a good person. And one thing the MCU does better than a lot of other franchises is being a good person is hard.
Yeah.
It is a hard thing to do because most of us by nature aren't.
We're not particularly great.
Is pretty selfish.
Most of us by nature are fine.
In preparing this episode, revisiting all the Natasha stories, I was struck by just how powerful her story of atonement is. And really what it comes down to is, I did a lot of bad, now I want to do a lot of good.
And she spent years doing as much good as she possibly could and capped it by doing the most good of any of the Avengers.
Yeah, you give your life to save everybody.
Exactly.
That's it. So if you're watching this at home, if you've done things you're ashamed of, if you've hurt somebody and you're not proud of it, if you've burned bridges, sometimes those relationships can't be restored. People aren't willing to forgive or to trust. You learn from it, you change, you move on, and that's what's healing, but you have to forgive yourself. If others have hurt you, you can let go of bitterness and rage and a desire for vengeance. And a trained therapist or qualified therapist or good family friends can help you through that. If people are trying to make amends and you choose to, because you don't have to, you can let them back in if they show that they are trustworthy, and that is healing. The greatest healing for Natasha was the atonement that happened in her own heart, in her own self, when she was at peace. And how she achieved peace was, I think, finally towards the end. We saw in Avengers: Age of Ultron how much she hated herself. I look at that Natasha, and that's not a Natasha who hates herself.
No.
In fact, when Clint calls her a pain in the ass, she's like, I know.
It's such a great character moment. I read that scene the same way, that she wasn't at peace because she was going to die.
Yeah.
She was at peace, and so it was okay to die.
Ooh, yeah. See, I'll jabber on for 3 or 4 minutes. You'll go 10 seconds and just blow me out of the water.
See, here's the thing.
It's a competition.
It is a competition, and I'm better at it. No, I am not a good writer. I'm a good rewriter. This is why I'm a director.
Yeah.
Someone else writes the words, and they give them to me, and I go, let's do all that with a look.
This was fun!
If you enjoy what we're doing here, like, subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss a single video. So until next time, yeah, no, I can't talk right now. Yeah, this idiot is giving me everything.
I'm not give you everything.
And
watch movies.